This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. For 2 years, secret documents leaked by former national security contractor Edward Snowden have yielded a steady stream of news reports about U.S. government spying on terrorism suspects, foreign leaders, and American citizens. Now another chapter has been revealed: how telecommunications giant AT&T demonstrated a, quote, extreme willingness to help the NSA. An article jointly published by the New York Times and the investigative nonprofit ProPublica reports AT&T forwarded 1 million emails a day to the NSA, handed over 1 billion cell phone records a day to the NSA, and assisted the NSA in wiretapping internet lines at the United Nations headquarters. This is according to documents provided by Snowden, who remains in Russia to avoid U.S. prosecution for espionage. Joining me now.
Just how smart is your city? Chances are it's getting smarter by the year. Many governments around the globe are racing to infuse technology into just about every aspect of its city's operations. And I mean every part.
Including public transportation, IT connectivity, water and power supply, sanitation and solid waste management, efficient urban mobility, e-governance, and citizen participation.
And it does this using every buzzword imaginable, from big data to the Internet of Things.
So you're probably saying to yourself, what does any of this have to do with me? You're probably right. But let's look into it. Hutchinson to beta test nationwide AT&T project. This was in 2019. Officials from the telecommunication company came to Hutchinson on March 27, inquiring about a 40,000 person city being the first nationwide to test the program. The initiative is through a 2017 partnership with AT&T and the congressional-made FirstNet, which aims to improve communications and lower response time during an emergency. AT&T will need to increase its tower capabilities for the test and install cameras at intersections that can be accessed by first responders and the city. Council members supported for the city to submit a letter of agreement to the beta site. City manager John Dearduff said AT&T chose Hutchinson because of its size and because the city beta tested the now successful state venture called Generation 911, which gives cell tower priority to first responders in an emergency. AT&T would be responsible for providing and installing cameras. Expenses for the city would come at a program fee down the road if the city wants to continue the venture. Dearduff said he didn't know what the total budget impact would be for keeping the program. Hutchinson Police Chief Jeff Hooper said the company planned to pilot the program in Hutchinson for about 6 months this year and then launch it in 2020. Councilwoman Jade Pires de Carvalho asked about needing any city ordinance and inquired about privacy rights. Dearduff said an ordinance wouldn't be needed and joked that instead of city inspectors peeking in windows, they would use drones. So he said they're going to use drones. Dearduff was referring to some landlords likening a city inspection ordinance for rental properties to peeking in windows, which city officials they don't do. Part of the program would include drones to be used by first responders, so they want to use drones. Hooper said that if the city agrees to drones, first responders will only use drones in emergencies, such as hostage situation or a disaster on par with the 2017 wildfires north of town. Additionally, Hooper said the improvements made by AT&T would allow citizens to record a crime in progress on their phone that law enforcement could access with the caller's permission. Hooper is considering a dispatch. Okay, the AT&T system and Next Generation 911 both give communication priority to first responders during an emergency. However, AT&T has other bells and whistles. Hooper said the program would allow officers to access a caller's cell phone camera with the caller's permission. The AT&T system, he said, also allows first responders to access cameras at intersections, and the geomapping would reroute first responders around traffic. The city could use the cameras to survey roads as well. That's why every time you drive by one of those cameras, they're always blinking red. They're recording. And it just says how it came to be because of the 9/11 terrorist attack, which we already mentioned in this website. It was a fraud. So this is So, okay, imagine this. You're at a party, a crime happens, someone call 911. Ma'am, sir, can we access your camera? And you can incriminate so many people can just, that's just crazy. But it gets even crazier. Look at this. City discusses skating Orchard Park at night, closed it earlier. The city council agreed Tuesday to explore imposing new restrictions at Riverbank Orchard on the city's north side to respond to continued late-night issues there that are upsetting area residents. The 72 park of 43rd Avenue and K61 Highway, which opened in 2014, and it's named after Civil War veterans. This has led to complaints about noise, drag racing, litter, and vandalism. It's a situation we have taken very seriously, said Police Chief Jeff Hooper. Well, that's great. That is great. We put multiple officers up there and added an extra patrol and enforcement zone. We even put a plainclothes officer in the trees with binoculars, with a cop cars around the corner when the group shows up. The city installed surveillance cameras, but there are issues with being able to place it at an angle that can capture license plates on vehicles. The council was advised when Mayor Jace Pyrester Carvalho, man, what a communist, raised the issue Tuesday. It's been a constant problem since I've been here, Hooper said. Unless I put an officer there 24 hours a day, we can't solve it with current policing methods. The only real solution, Hooper suggested, is to close the park at night by installing a gate. I agree. A gate is the best solution, said Parks Director Justin Combs. This issue is who opens it and closes. Oh, that's the issue, not the privacy issue. But that's the city of Hutchinson is a joke, people, ladies and gentlemen. The city of Hutchinson is a joke. So this person, this person has actually moved districts so she could be in power even longer. So who knows how long. Jade, she was reelected. Nancy, she was reelected. I know that. John Daveline, yeah, I remember him. He was reelected. Steve Garza, new guy. Sarah Bagwell, new girl. So 3 people have been in power for, I think, more than 8 years now, people. These are the people that we need to blame and not just them, also the city manager dared off, and I'll explain another video why. But these are the people that are ruining our city. And not just them, it's also us. We don't act. We don't act. But anyways, folks, this is part 1 of the future. Thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing my site. It's taken a long journey, but thank you. Farewell.
Address? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Emmanuel Lam. I shouldn't take more than 5 minutes.
You're good.
I'm here to raise my concerns. 1 second. 2 weeks ago, the chief of police announced a cooperative initiative program with AT&T concerning 5G technology and smart cities. 5G technology will revolutionize the modern world. We're talking speeds 100 times to 250 times faster than 4G. Latency, the time required for information to travel a network, will go from approximately 100 milliseconds to 1 millisecond. Just wow. We are seeing the integration of society, infrastructure, and 5G technology to form smart cities. Cities integrated with the Internet of Things that sooner than later will monitor and rank you with a social score. The growth of the Internet of Things in terms of number of devices, revenue generated, and data produced has been accelerating. Most predictions expect the number of the devices to reach 50 billion in 2020 from 8.7 billion in 2012. And the annual revenue from Internet of Things sales is forecast to hit 1.6 trillion by 2025 from 200 billion today. But perhaps most notable of all, the amount of data produced by the Internet of Things is expected to reach 4.4 zettabytes by 2020 from just 0.1 zettabyte in 2013. Does any of this make any sense for the future productivity of America? Okay, how about this? March 14, 2019, quote, a 4th child has been diagnosed with cancer at a San Joaquin County Elementary School, and parents believe it's because of radiation caused by cell phone towers. The towers are spread throughout the community, but it's this particular near the school that parents say need to go. A doctor told us that it's 100% environmental, the type of tumor he has. The effects of this radiation, high frequency millimeter waves, on public health has yet to undergo the rigors of long-term testing. Human skin basically acts as an absorbing sponge for microwave radiation. Rare forms of tumors in the brain and hearts in rats of both sexes had developed DNA damage. A Russian study revealed that exposing healthy mice to low-intensity, extremely high-frequency electromagnetic radiation severely compromised their immune system. It would contaminate our food supply, pose a threat to our planet's atmosphere, threaten natural ecosystem. 5G is bad news for all living creatures and the planet we share. I have even raised the privacy concerns. Quote, they who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. So why prioritize 5G for faster internet speeds? By the time an American child reaches the age of 18, that child will have seen approximately 40,000 murders on television. According to a study conducted by the Mayo Clinic, at least 70% of Americans are on one prescription drug. According to one CDC, doctors in the U.S. write more than 250 million prescriptions for antidepressants every year. The average American spends 86 hours a month on a cell phone. 1/3 of all American teenagers haven't read a single book in the past year. The suicide rate is up 34% since the year 2000. It may seem that I have changed subjects, but I believe and I know this will only get worse. There are links between radiation and mental illnesses. I personally cannot afford $150 an hour therapy sessions for my borderline personality disorder and medications, and we're talking multiple visits a week, only to go outside and it to be Chernobyl without any warnings from my local government. I have borderline personality disorder, and there's many subtypes to it. I have one where, unfortunately, I perceive as being paranoid without any sense to be. I feel like I'm being tracked without really being tracked. And now that I go outside and I see all these cameras when I drive, when I walk, to me that feels unnatural. It makes me feel that I cannot enjoy my community safely. And now we're talking that with 5G, we're even going to add more infrastructure to our current infrastructure. And the current links that that is already showing, I feel that that's even going to pose a healthier risk on my health, and let alone the health of many people that don't even know. When I sleep now, I turn off my phone because I usually place it near my head where my alarm clock. I turn the cellular network off, and it's shown to reduce the radiation emitted from the phone. I'm just here to raise my concerns. Any questions?
Well, I appreciate you stepping up. It takes courage to do so, especially with your affliction as it is. I know there are numerous concerns with regards to privacy. You mentioned that and the other pieces. I know that our various entities that are looking into this describe this as a test, that we may or may not subscribe to some of these things, and I'm assuming that health concerns will definitely be a part of that consideration as we go forward.
And I feel like a problem, and I love city council because I believe this is the best way to get to the citizen at the most local level. I just feel like we're not doing, I'm not, and it's partly my job to get people involved in our community, but the outreach to come people and also raise their concerns and also to inform the people, I feel like that would be a great opportunity to expand upon, and I'll certainly love to volunteer in my spare time whenever I can.
Very good. And there are volunteer opportunities, and we appreciate your participation.
Thank you very much. Yes. Have a great day.
Have a
You
good
have a
day.
great day.
Thank you.